Welcome back to the We Was Watching podcast. I'm your host, Brandon.
I'm your other host, Chanel.
And just a forewarning, you're going to have to bear with us this week. Chanel is in Thailand at the beautiful White Lotus Resort.
Yep, that's where I'm
And
at.
so that's why, but they don't got good internet, as you saw in the show.
They do not. Yeah, they're banging on the door right now to get me to turn my phone in. So unfortunately, this is the audio you're going to get while I am in Asia.
So yeah, while she's over there, we have a little bit struggle with audio. We had to go to Discord, which is something different than we normally do. Those of you who are watching us live, I'm sure you'll be able to deal with it. Podcast folks who are new to White Lotus, this is just a 1 week thing. We'll get our audio back. Don't worry about that. It's just 1 week. So, but we appreciate y'all coming in. We saw all the new listeners.
And I'll be somewhere else next time. So like we have all the chances of better Wi-Fi. So don't you guys worry.
And we saw the new listeners. So we appreciate you guys coming in for White Lotus. But we are back this week for episode 2 of season 3 of White Lotus. But before we get into that, those of you who are listening to us on podcasts, on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, please leave us a 5-star review and we'll read it on the show. We appreciate all those reviews. It helps people find us. You can also watch us stream live on YouTube at youtube.com/@WeWasWatching, or just search for the We Was Watching podcast and it'll pop up. And go ahead and hit like. So go ahead and hit subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can see us go live. You can also email the show at wewaswatchingpodcast@gmail.com, and we will read that on the air if you send us an email. And you can also lastly follow us on social media at We Was Watching on Twitter and Blue Sky. So no, I don't know if you have access. Oh no, you're on your phone, so you don't have access to your phone. Mm-hmm. But we got a review on Friday.
Oh, I got my laptop up here.
Oh, you got both. Okay. Mm-hmm. So we got a review. So Chanel's going to read that review in a second, but we appreciate that review as well.
We really do. All of them matter. All reviews matter. Okay, I'm ready. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm going to enunciate because of how terrible this damn these AirPods are going to be. So 4 days ago, that guy Ethan says 5 stars, 5 stars. Essential listening. I came across his pod during the last season of Industry. It has become one of my essential pods for TV shows. I found the conversations easygoing, natural, and as it comes later in the week, Brandon and Chanel always land on new information and POVs that haven't been discussed before. The live chat is always fun. Be warned, Chanel's music choices are hella sus, but nobody's perfect.
That's
By the way,
that's true.
There we go. I see me. Yeah,
that's
thank
true.
You so much. We appreciate you, that guy Ethan. Thank you for checking in and giving us your podcast. I don't know what he's talking about, but okay.
I'm glad our listeners know. They pick up on all the stuff when they listen to. They be picking it up.
Sure. I'm still concerned about them, but okay. But no, thank you guys so much. Any emails?
No emails this week. Hopefully we'll have some for Severance next week. So let's get into the show because we're about 15 minutes late, and I know people are listening, and it's mad early for Chanel. It's like 6 o'clock in the morning. She's a warrior, getting up here at 6 a.m. to talk about White Lotus.
11. It's 11.
Oh, it's 11. Okay. Well, now I'm not gonna give you no credit for 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm up. No, I'm good.
All right. So we're gonna jump right into this episode. I don't want to start with the Cougars because they were the worst possible people.
So the Cougars is so funny because you said last week that they're the most interesting, and they are. I think it's. Some people think they're carrying the show, and I'm not. I do understand those people. I think they might kind of be carrying the show. They might be like the point of it, because I think it's always usually about the family, and you think that they're going to be a core, but like the Cougars are really the most compelling right now, in my opinion. But yes, so you want to start with the Lehman Brothers, or where do you want to go? Where do you want to go first?
The easiest one was Belinda. So let's do Belinda to start.
Yes, let's do Belinda. We haven't met her fine son yet. We're still waiting on him to arrive.
No, but she woke up hungover, and her alarm went off, and she's like, "Where the fuck am I?" She didn't even know where she was when she woke up.
I'm glad she a good time. And have you ever done that? Have you ever woken up and been like, wait, where am I at?
Not in a long time, a very long time.
Oh, okay. You think I mean because of drinking? I just sometimes get disoriented. I just have to go like, what city is this?
I mean,
If
you're
I'm not in my
gallivanting around the
place,
world. You're in Thailand now.
that's what
You're
it
going to
is.
be in Tokyo. You're going to Africa. You're going to Mexico. You're coming back, going around the world. Going to end up in Toronto. Like you're just all over the world. So I can understand that. I stay
Yeah.
my black ass in the house,
Yeah. Okay.
so I wake up in the same bed every day.
So you're not confused. Yeah. Yeah. That's
That's
fair.
right.
That's fair.
Not
Okay.
confused.
You know what? You are. We love black men who stay home.
That's right. I stay home and I do the dishes. And I do the dishes. About that.
Okay, but yeah, so Belinda, yeah, remember she's there to train to learn like the White Lotus. Like this is apparently the White Lotus with the best like health and wellness stuff. So she's there to learn some of the methods, and that's mainly what she's on this episode.
So she's walking with Poncho, and he basically like, listen, this is what we finna do today. I'm gonna give you my best
What'd you
massage.
call him?
And his name Poncho. Poncho?
His name is Porn Chai. Porn Chai.
No, it's not.
His name is Porn Chai. Please look his name up. Poncho.
Porn Chai? No, that's not his name. His name is.
Please look.
Oh, I'm looking it up. Cause I feel like you making
I'm
some shit up.
ready.
His name
I mean, because
is.
every time like
He didn't pop up on
I'm
the
like, I need
list.
to grow up. I need to grow up. Every time I'm like, all right, I see his name and I go, Chanel, grow up. This is another culture, and they use similar word roots.
They don't even got him on the list.
Damn.
Like, so I can see how to spell
Okay,
his
well, we'll
name.
come back to it. We'll come back to it. But yes, his name is Poncho. Anyway, so we can call him Poncho for short.
So he was basically like, let's call him P. So P was basically like, hey, listen, this is what we finna do. I'm gonna give you my famous massage. Then you're gonna give me a famous massage. And then we're gonna discuss what we did good, what we didn't do, so that we can make the best massage of all time. That's what we finna do. And she was like, oh, all right then, cool. And so she get in there to get her massage, and that man must have had the hands of God, because Belinda was in heaven. He was rubbing her neck, cracking her.
Yeah, he did that good neck. I will say, probably when you are like giving massages and wellness, you don't get them as regularly. So it probably was like very nice for her. So I just love seeing this like with all these white people going crazy, and there's this one black woman just having a good old time, just having a nice, steady old time. I really appreciate that storyline.
And so she got her massage. So then it was time for her to give P his massage. And she went in there and he came out there with his drawers on. And he was like, how do you want me? And she was looking at him like he was a whole snack.
And she said, oh, she said on my back.
No, he said, do you want me on my back or the stomach? And she said, on my stomach. I mean, on your stomach or back. I don't care. I was like, Belinda, you got to do better than that, honey.
I love that for her.
You got to be better than that.
I love that for her. That was perfect.
So she gave him a massage, and then the next time we see Belinda is towards the end of the episode is dinner time, and she look up and she's like, "Is that the motherfucker from? Is that the dude from Maui?"
She's not even at is that the motherfucker from yet. She's just like, I know that nigga. She doing this. She's like, huh. But she doesn't. I was waiting for her to do like the whole. I don't think she recognizes him yet because there would have been like a confirming nod she would have done if she once she figured out who he was. So I think she's still thinking.
Yeah, but I think she's gonna figure it out quite soon. So she's gonna figure that out.
You don't watch the previews, right?
No, I don't watch the previews.
You should. They're 30 seconds. They're very quick, and basically, there's a clip of her walking up to the table saying, "Don't I know you from somewhere?"
I can't wait to see that. And that's it for Belinda this episode. Not a whole lot going on with her. I think we're going to get more of her as the season goes on. So then let's jump to Mook and Gaytok.
And so, what you learned some info about Mook over the week?
Yeah. So the actress who plays Mook is from a K-pop, all girls, all woman K-pop band called uh Black something. I think that's Blackpink. Blackpink is what it's called.
Oh,
And
Blackpink is huge, but I don't. So
I told you that.
if you played a song, I wouldn't. No, I didn't know what the band name was, but I've heard of
Oh,
the name, although I don't know the music. Like I genuinely don't know the music, but I will say that while I'm on my Asia trip, one of my stops is in Korea, and one of the activities that like the school group is gonna do is a K-pop like dance lesson. And I just am gonna be waiting for them to tell me where the fuck these moves came from. Like
but
what's the real origin of all this shit?
I don't know nothing about the K-pop, but apparently this is like one of the biggest in the world. Her joint. They got like almost 60 million followers on Instagram, doing
No, it's
world
one of the
tours and
biggest bands. I'm
stadiums.
saying though, like the genre overall, like where y'all getting the idea to cornrow your hair?
Oh, they're heavily influenced
Where's
by
that coming
us.
from? Say what?
They're heavily influenced by
Yeah, that's
us.
what I'm saying. I just want to know if they're able to acknowledge it or if they're just over here acting like they're making up this genre. That's all
My
I'm curious about. And I
understanding is
want to
that
hear
that's a
y'all
big
report back.
thing over there. So that's
What,
my
hip hop?
understanding. No, like black culture.
We're
My
gonna see
understanding.
if they acknowledge it. That's all I'm saying. Because they can do it. They'll be dressed more urban than me, I'm sure. But I just want to know if they're gonna say, "Oh my God, you're black," or if they're gonna be like, "We don't know. We don't know where this came from." That's all. I'm just saying. I'm gonna let you know.
Yeah, I know. We'll find out. You're on your world tour, so we'll find out.
I'm ready for either outcome. Yeah, but
She.
no, she's a big deal, and so she's kind of feeling herself.
Oh,
You're
look.
right.
See,
They're
here's a
not.
here is an article about Blackpink where they talk about how TLC inspired their career. Look at that. See,
Oh yes. Okay, I
see.
love that. Yeah. So the thing about her, you're right. Mook likes her, but she kind of just like allows him to be around her. I thought before like maybe they had already established something,
No,
but
Mook
she just
is
lets
Mook
him flirt
is
with her basically.
Gay Talk likes Mook,
Right. Oh yeah, yeah,
and
and she just I before I thought maybe they were like kind of casually dating, but it looks like they're not. Like
no,
Mook flirts with her and she lets him basically.
Mook is like, hey dog, like I mean, this you cool, but like, come on, look at you, look at me. What you want me to say? Is basically what she's
And
saying.
also like Gay Talk is he's cute.
I know, but it's Mook. Look at her.
To each their own.
Oh, look at you. Okay, look at you judging. All right. Mutai bike is working again. Mook's, I mean, I call him Mutai. That's the couple name, Mutai. Mook bike is working again because Gator fixed it. And he was like, how that bike working? He's like, it was good. He was like, yeah, I did a good job, didn't I? And he was like, look, I how about we have lunch today? And she's like, you mean I'm gonna eat lunch today? And she was like, no, I mean have lunch with me. And she was like, for what? Like, we don't even work in the same area. What you mean have lunch? He's like, look, I gotta talk to you about something very important. She was like, we walking, you can tell me now. And he was like, no, I'm gonna talk to you at lunch. Just meet me at lunch. She was like, all right, fine. So then next time we see him is lunchtime. And he was like, he got all serious. He was like, Mook, I have to tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
She was like, what? Tell me the fuck. I like you. That's what he said. And she was like, all right, but what you got to
Well,
tell
he
me?
didn't just say that. He said I like you. Your mama like me.
Oh, yeah, that's
Your
what I was about
brothers
to get
like
to.
me.
Yeah, he said our families know
He
each
said every
other.
day.
Your
Yeah. Okay.
brothers
Okay.
like me. We work together. You're smarter than me, but I'm handy. So that means we make a good partnership. What you think? And she was like,
And she wrote,
we ain't ever even
hmm?
been on a date, dog. I was like, this dude looked way too corny for her. And she is not with this. And he said, listen, come on, give me a chance. We can go on as many dates as you want. And she was like, chill out, dog. Just this, you don't make this weird. Eat your lunch. Come on, eat that shit. Come on. Let's just finish our lunch.
That hurt. That hurt so bad. That hurt so bad. Like, don't tell me to stop being weird.
Yeah.
She said, "Quit being weird and eat." That would I would have got up. Like I was like hurt for him.
And then something happens, which we'll get to later, where where Gator gets hurt, and Mook comes in and was like, "Oh man, I heard what happened. I was worried about you." And Gator was looking like he was in the biggest pain in the world. Mook came in and he was like, "Oh, I'm good now. What you mean? Like you was worried about me for real? Like for real? You see this knot in my head? Don't you want to rub my head? You want to put some ointment on my head, make me feel better?" And she was like, I gotta
Yeah, I
get
mean he's
home.
not about to let her see because remember her his big competition is those big buff like SEALs Team 6 guys who are doing security. So he definitely doesn't want to look soft. Like he wants to look very strong in front of her.
Yeah, so he was just like, um, she was like, I gotta get home to my mama. She made dinner. And Gay Talk was like, oh, I'm much better now. I'm gonna see you tomorrow. And Mook was like, you are very brave. And he had the biggest cornball smile on his face. He looked like Dylan G talking to Gretchen when she said
I
that.
would too. Yeah, I would too. I'd be like,
Uh,
I am brave, you right?
and so that's what's going on with them. But I got some more thoughts about Mook, which we'll get to in a little bit. Let's get the family out the way.
I don't think you're. I think they'll demonetize us if you share those out loud.
Share what out loud? I missed the joke.
Those thoughts you have about Mook. I don't. I think
Oh,
those are
see,
private
yeah. I
thoughts.
mean, those are you right. Those are private thoughts because
I'm just
Mook is
playing.
one of them
Yeah, no, we
ones.
can go back to them. I think we're gonna see like kind of where
Dr.
it goes
Umar
because
is
it's.
not a
I
real
think I've been.
doctor. He ain't real.
And you brought that up. Why?
Because he's not going to disapprove. He's not
Because
going to
because
dissuade me
your guilt started to
of
pop.
Mook.
Your guilt started to pop up, so you brought up Dr. Umar,
He's
Mr.
not
Umar
real.
Al. No, I think so here's two things. One is that Issa Rae said this, and she's right that if when Black women think about dating outside of their ethnicity, they should consider Asian men more often because Asian men and Black women are treated the same in terms of um, interracial dating and like desirability. Like for whatever reason, although we both do so many amazing things in our cultures and
Well, you
countries,
know why.
we're treated like socially at the bottom of
You know why we're
right.
Asian
And so
men.
because but anyway, so so that so that's why
It is.
we
That's a
should think about like
stereotype.
working together more. I agree. I'm just moving forward to say that that's one thing that makes me think about. So I think Mr. Umar would approve. And then in general though, I do think that like Mook and Gay Talk, the only thing I anticipate with them is that she'll make him do something stupid to kind of like prove that he's worthy for her. That's kind of the, like maybe put himself in danger. That's kind of probably what I assume. But yeah, let's keep going.
So then we get to the Radcliffes. Anybody joining in on Twitter or YouTube, Chanel is gallivanting around the world. So our audio's a little bit off this week, so just bear with us. We'll be back to normal soon. So we go to the Radcliffes and Piper's doing some yoga when we first see her. Lockley is staring at Saxton's bare naked ass for some reason when he sleep.
Yeah, I was. What do we think? Was that normal? Was that because I'm
No,
trying
it
to
ain't
think.
normal.
If my sister, okay,
I don't know what's going
I
on
was
with
just double
Lockie.
checking. No, so okay, I think my predictions there were either so Lockie maybe is like under, maybe he's like under he's behind in development. So I feel like his brother might be very influential to him because you have this brother who keeps acting like you have his brother who keeps acting like he gets all the women in the world and like he's hypersexualized. So maybe he feels like he's doing something wrong, wants to compare himself, or maybe he's questioning his sexuality, which wouldn't mean that he's like attracted to his brother, but just like he's just like more observant because he's just like always questioning. But then again, they do give off a randomly incestuous vibe. So I don't know what's going on, but like, yeah, there's a lot going on there. Especially with like the conversation they have later with the sister that just is confusing to me. In terms of like why they're so obsessed with each other's bodies. But I'll let somebody else tell me what's going on there.
Tim and Victoria are asleep, but Tim gets a text and he's grumpy as shit. Like he's grumpy this entire episode. He is on one, and we find out later for good reason. Victoria.
Yeah, well, we already got warned. So a journalist contacted him last week and put him on to like, oh, something might be going on, and he like laughed it off. But you could tell by the way that he dismissed it that like he was it wasn't a good faith dismissal. It was like a, oh shit, let me not comment so I can go get more information. And so he's been trying to get a hold of the guy, and we don't hear. This is the first episode that we hear him talk to the guy.
Parker Posey's Victoria is my favorite character on this show. She is on one.
She's that one, because the same way that we feel like the Cougars are, which is crazy how we gave them that name based on what's his name, but the Cougars are doing their thing. They're very compelling, but Victoria she's been that girl. Like, she's able to put them in their place so quickly, it's insane.
She stands out on this show in the way that Rishi does on Industry, where she's just kind of like so different than everyone else because she's the Xanax mom. Like, she's just on all the drugs in the world. And she even says that at breakfast. She was like, "Oh, Tim, you look grumpy. Like, you ain't get no sleep last night." And she was like, "No, not really." And he was like, "I told you to take my medicine. I slept like a corpse." And Tim was
take my lorazepam. I slept like a corpse. That's how she talks.
She's doing a horrible accent too, which makes it even more funny. It makes it so much more funny to me. Yes, yours was better. That's how bad Parker's is, which I think is even funnier.
But that's why I think she's gonna die. They always foreshadow their own death.
So Victoria, so Tim said, "I don't like taking drugs." And then Saxton, who's a daddy's boy, was basically like, "Me neither, Dad." And Piper was like, "Bruh, you take Adderall every goddamn day.
You're on a Xanny right now. You snuck perks into Thailand."
He was like, "I only take that to concentrate." And she was like, "What about the steroids?" That shit was so funny. I was like, "All right, you taking off of your real life daddy, huh?"
It is interesting because there is that guy who says he's not taking drugs, but he's taking supplements, protein powder, creatine, all this random shit. But he's like, "Oh, but I would never smoke weed."
Mm-hmm. Doesn't do a body good.
That guy is, yeah. Oh.
Tim phone rings and Piper gives him some shit. Kate walks by. All the women. Oh, she was like, Tim was like, "We came here for you." And Piper was like, "Man, this is where rich people go to live out their fantasies and wear their Lululemon." And then you see the Cougars walk by with their Lululemon outfits
on. Lululemon coordinated set, exactly, yeah. So they have this dynamic where they're all there for Piper's thesis, but I don't think that Piper asked them to go. Like, they turned it into a whole trip that probably she would have preferred to go on her own. So the fact that they're all there, they're all blame for why they're doing what they're doing, but it's interesting because it probably was the parents at the end of the day, but they're making it seem like they're doing all this for the kids. Like, everything they do is for the kids, but they wanted to go and do flashy ass. Even him trying to, oops, sorry, just dropped something. Even him trying to do that for Piper is doing the vacation the way he thinks she wants it, which is still not the way she wants it. So it's just an interesting dynamic with, like, even when her parents are trying to do something for her, they're still doing it for themselves.
Yeah. And so Kate stops and was like,
"Am I delayed real bad? Wait, am I delayed real bad? Is that why?" Okay.
Kate stops and is like, "Oh, I know you. I think I know you. Is your name Victoria?" Yeah. Look, you don't remember.
We met. I'm gonna do Victoria while you do her. Hold on.
We met at Claire Popovich baby shower. You know Claire, right? Right?
Yeah.
Right? Anyway. It was just so good to see you. We're on vacation. Is this your family? What's your family's name? Okay. Well, anyway, I spoke to Kate yesterday, and she's doing great. And if I talk to her again, I'll tell her I saw you.
Okay.
All right. Well, you and your family have a good vacation, and I'm gonna go over there. All right. That's exactly what happened. See what?
Like dead ass, like smiling at her the whole time, but not even speaking back.
Why
Like,
do you think she did that? Why?
Because she's a bitch.
I don't think she remembered her. She was probably high as a kite.
Definitely didn't remember. No, first of all, she didn't remember her. Two, she was definitely high. But on the other end, she was being weird, because she doesn't want to incur. Like, I think she doesn't want to be associated in a weird way as well. Like, I think she just was on every level. She was just trying to assert her social dominance. I think.
I think she was high and she ain't like her. And Kate probably rubbed her the wrong. She probably didn't remember the fuck who she was. And she was like, look at these pretentious women. Like, I don't give a fuck about them. And she probably don't like the girl Claire Popovich baby shower she was at, but she was just there to be there.
Yeah, I think she also like. I mean, so first of all, there's an age difference here. Second of all, I think I just get the vibe that she's like an old bitch who's like, don't act like we're on the same level because we was at the same event, basically. Like, it's giving in Housewives lore. It's giving like Nene and a new housewife. It's giving Nene and I'm Giovanna. It's like somebody who's like, oh, you know me, and it's like, I don't know you. Don't tell me I know you. And also, we might have slept in a bed together for a weekend at a girls trip. I don't give a fuck. I don't know you. Like, I think it's a social dominance thing of like, you might have money, but I'm still the queen bitch. That's what I was getting from it personally. And it was giving me life because, like I said, she's like, I'm y'all don't do this like how I do this. That's what I took away from it.
And so Kate went and sat down and was like, what? That was weird. She was rude as fuck. And the other girls was like, yeah, that shit was mad weird. And then they cut back to Vicky, and Vicky was like, Lockie was like, Mom, why the fuck was you so rude to her? What the fuck was that? And Vicky was like, no, I wasn't. And he was like, yes, you were. And she was like, what you want from me? A baby shower? Who the fuck cares? So, like, what do you want from me? And Lockie was like, she was just trying to be friendly.
He says, what do you want from me? It was a baby shower 10 years ago. I don't give a fuck. So she does know exactly what she's talking about. She just didn't care enough to try to remember.
And he was like, I think she's just trying to be friendly. And Vicky was like, yeah, no, she wasn't. Fuck her. I don't like women like that. And then Saxon was like, Mom, you know her mama is Jacqueline Lennon. She's fucking famous. And Vicky was like, so the fuck what? I'm supposed to be impressed by that? Ooh, who cares? She's like, and then she said, actresses are all basically prostitutes anyway. And they all start laughing.
And she says, if they're lucky. She says they're lucky. All prostitutes if they're lucky.
And Piper looks so out of place with these people. She's like, what the fuck's wrong with my family? Like, what is wrong with these people? And so the next time we see them, Pam is giving her the itineraries, right? So Saxon's got a sport massage.
Sorry, by the way, I think I just want to go back to my early theory where I said that these women, some of the issues with these women is that they encourage the bad behavior of the men. And so this is an example of like not even encouraging, it's her own bad behavior. But even like this, did they already do their treatments that morning?
No, that's coming up now. That's what we're about to talk about now.
Okay, yeah. So in a second, I just want to say like she is really like, she encourages his bad behavior from her sons. Like she actually likes that Saxon is the way he is.
Saxon's getting a sport massage. Victoria's getting a massage. Lockie's doing a sensory deprivation treatment, and Piper is going to do yoga. And Pam's like, I ain't do nothing for you because all you said you want to do is go to the gym. And he was like, goddamn right. See y'all. I'm out. And Tim leaves and goes to the gym. And so then they cut to Victoria getting a massage, and she is stressed the fuck out for this massage. She's digging in her bag. Like, I get really nervous and feel claustrophobic when I'm getting a massage until I get my fix. Oh, I found him. She pops 2 pills, and then she hops on the bed like a child, like, I'm ready to go. I was like, she is
Yeah.
wilding.
No, she said, yeah, she said, I feel claustrophobic during a massage unless I take my Xanax, which is crazy because she's basically saying, I don't want poor people touching me, but if I take this pill, it'll make me relax and I'll be okay with it.
Yep. And so then then we cut to Saxton getting a massage, and Saxton, the masseuse just starts rubbing his neck, and he starts licking his lips, and then you see the
Very
camera
basic,
pan
very
down,
basic.
and his dick's getting hard, and she's like, ugh, like I guess I gotta finish this, but ugh. Uh, and then we cut to Piper. Piper is doing yoga, and this old man is just like checking her out. Like this, he had to be like in his late 50s, early 60s, just checking her out. Like, oh, look at her, and bending through his legs to look at her, turning around, look at her. Parker's like, God damn, you fucking creeps everywhere I go. And then we see Lockie in a sensory deprivation chamber, just trying to like figure some shit out. Um, and so after all that, and we also see Tim working out, right? So he's working out hard as shit. And so
Yeah, he's about to break that machine basically. And he's so stressed because we know that the reason why he's stressed is the same reason he won't put his phone down. Like whatever's going on with this reporter and this business person, we don't know if it's a partner or a colleague, whatever's going on is definitely getting to him. And I think we talked before about like I don't know maybe they have a house of cards relationship where Victoria knows everything, but also it's very likely Victoria knows nothing and is just happy that money's coming home. But he is like also not telling anyone what's going on, and I think that's also adding to his sense of stress.
So he gets a call. He calls his executive assistant and is basically like, "Did Kenny call back? No, she ain't called back." But the Washington Post called. He was like, "No, you mean the Wall Street Journal?" She's like, "No, it's the Washington Post." And he was like, "God damn it, now it's 2 of them." So he's really stressed the fuck out. The next time we see him is after they get back from getting their massages and stuff, and it's Piper, Lockley, no, Piper, Saxton, and Victoria. And Saxon is tearing shit up in the fucking house while Victoria's trying to do room service. He's like, the fuck? And he's like, I'm looking for a blender. I need my protein shake. Locky's there too. And then Victoria's like, Saxton, why are you so stressed out? You're blowing my high. And she's like, didn't you have a good massage? And he was like, actually, Mom, no, I didn't. He was like, why not? He was like, no happy ending. I thought I was supposed to get those. And she's like, ha ha, Saxton, you're so
She
silly.
bursts out she thinks it's so funny. Like to her, him sexually harassing the lady makes so much sense.
And Piper was like, oh, that's so fucking disgusting. Um, and so then Victoria's like, yeah, she was dying laughing. And Tim comes in pissed. Like he comes in fucking on a million. And she's like, something wrong? He's like, yes, goddamn something wrong. I'm already on the other side of the country. And the other side of the country is useless to me because it's night there and day here. And I can't fucking talk to anybody. It's like me and Chanel right now. Except we made it work. We're not angry like Tim. And he's pissed. So, but he's pissed for some other reason. And so Piper, next time we see Piper, she's outside and she's on a hammock, and then Lockley comes over there, and she's talking to him about praying, and he was like, I tried to pray when I was in the deprivation chamber, and she stood up, got excited, like, oh, how'd that go? And he was like, oh, I felt like I was talking to myself. And she was like, you ain't feel no presence? He was like, nope, I ain't feel shit. And then it was quiet for a second, and then he was like, Saxon said you never have sex. And Piper did not know how to respond. She was like, it was calculating through her head, like, what? And she was like, how the fuck would he know?
Because also, yeah, because think about it like that, right? Like that's like me. That's like in the middle of it, me saying the same thing about you. It's like, why is that? Why is that what we're talking about at all? Like, what would be the possible reason that would come up in your conversation while we're on vacation? You tell me right now.
And he was like, oh, it wasn't like that. He just said you're so hot. So it's weird that you never had sex. It was almost like a compliment. And
So
Piper
much
was like,
better. So much better. So much better, right? Like, if not that, he was just saying he would fuck you if you weren't his sister. So he's just saying, why won't other people fuck you? Yeah, it's not crazy. It's not weird at all.
and then Lockley was like, tell him to stop fucking talking about me. And then
Correct.
Lockley couldn't let it go. And he was like, but did you? And she was like, fuck you. And she got up and swam away. So you could tell
Yeah,
Saxon has an
because first of
influence on
all,
him.
how do we come into this with you? Yeah, exactly. But you're telling me like we started this conversation with prayer, and you're going into whether or not I'm fucking. Like, what is going on with you, bro?
I mean, he want to know. Maybe he's trying to learn. Maybe he wants her to teach him.
I'm it's and I know yeah, it's getting too quote unquote incesty for me. We're getting too close to it for my personal comfort. But yeah, I think I just want to know like why what they're going for with this.
I
You
sat
know,
there.
whenever they're
You
doing
sat
this,
there and
like what
watched
is the point?
Rhaenyra and Damon fuck for 3 years.
First of all, they did not grow up side by side, and you never had me hyped for it. By the way, I was I hyped for it?
You see? You
Yeah,
see?
no, I was never like excited about it.
Okay. All right. You say so. We got the tapes. Go back and listen to our old
Yeah, yeah,
shows,
we're gonna take
listeners. We
that.
got the tapes.
Mhm.
And so
Mhm.
the next
Okay.
time we see them is dinner time, and Saxon, the waitress comes up, and Saxon is like, he's not even being slick. All guys see women, and you kind of
No,
do a
he's
thing.
definitely
You kind of do a thing where you go like this. You go like this, right? You do a thing. That's normal. I'm sure women do that too, but all guys do that. Saxton wasn't doing that. Saxton was like this. People watching live. He was just
yeah,
like,
like he's checking her out from behind while she's
like
like, and she's not even
obviously.
bending over a lot. Yeah, he's like going out of his way, like hardcore out of his way
But
to
but
look at
then he
her.
says, "Dad, is that a woman? Like, is that women?" And Tim was like, "I don't know. It's a lot of lady boys out here." And Piper is just so angry. She's like, "Oh, now it's
Because they're
transphobia.
so
Jesus."
obnoxious. Like, what are they doing?
She's like transphobia on top of incest, on top of everything else. Jesus Christ, get me out of this family. And so Piper also tells Saxton this whole stick of his is getting old and stay out of his personal life. And Victoria was like,
Hmm.
"Come on, guys, just get along." And she
And
was like,
it's like it reminds me of the like "Am I the asshole" stuff I listen to, where a family is family in a bad dynamic is usually telling the person to get over it that's being irritated instead of telling the person who's doing the irritation. Like the whole "come on, guys," instead of being like, "Hey, y'all, like stop being creeps." It's so like if I'm Piper, I'm definitely thinking about running away during this trip. Like I'm like at some point I'm abandoning this family, bro.
and she says, "Listen, you're all gorgeous. You come for money. You got to be hyper vigilant. You got to stay on your guard." And then she said, "Let me tell you a story. When I was growing up, my brothers used to terrorize me. One time he tackled me, pinned me down,
They
and then
said people will take advantage of you. Mm-mm, mm-mm,
he said one time she
mm-mm,
tackled me, pinned me
mm-mm.
down, was about to spit in my face, and then sucked it back up." And then was like, "That's fucking disgusting." He was like, "I hated him for years, but now we close." And then Tim gets
No,
a
what
call.
happened was she said he used to all the time do this to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I and but like that's your uncle. I love him. And I'm like, how does she how, it makes sense. Like women like that are born into that and raised into that. But I just want to go back real quick to like her turning this into like a don't you guys are rich, don't be taken advantage of thing. And it just shows like she might have the ultimate privilege of everyone, like worse than her husband in a way, because in her mind it's like they just are the way they are. It's just kind of like it sounds like the type of person who's like, oh yeah, like of course I had a wedding at a plantation, like because the plantations exist. What do you mean? Like she just would be confused that you would be confused that she's not using racism to her advantage. That's what I get from her.
At 100%. Tim gets up and he goes and takes this call, and I have this call. and Chanel is going to react a little bit later because
Okay.
I had to play it and she's going to
I
listen
got
to
you.
it
I
through
know
YouTube.
what we're doing. Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
so here goes the clip.
No worries.
Why is the Wall Street Journal calling me, Kenny? Huh?
I don't care about the fucking story.
Why not?
Because 20 agents just raided my fucking office. Fuck me, I'm done.
Just
I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
tell me what happened.
I ain't going to fucking prison.
Just,
He is crashing out bad, this dude, Kenny. He is crashing out real bad. I don't know if y'all have seen this movie. This is a black movie, so I'm pretty sure Chanel hasn't seen it. But there's a movie called The Wash with Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. And Eminem is in it. And Eminem got fired from the car wash, and he keeps calling up, crashing out, talking about he's going to come up there and shooting everybody and losing his mind. And he sounds just like Kenny does in this phone call.
You are so annoying, by the way. I can't deal how annoying you are.
I mean, I had to make sure. All right, let's play the rest of the clip.
Fuck!
you know, you told me this couldn't happen. Remember that? You fucking swore that this could not happen.
I didn't think some whistleblower bitch in my office was gonna rat me out to the media. The fucking FBI. Fuck me!
All right. I just, Kenny,
She did me so dirty.
what exactly do they know?
They have everything, Tim. My accounts, my emails,
Yeah, but
all the fucking
What did you
documents.
tell them? What did you say, Kenny?
Nothing. I got a fucking lawyer. I should have never gone to Brunei. I should have never taken that position. Everybody was making a killing.
Kenny,
I figured,
Kenny.
why not me?
Kenny, will you shut the fuck up for 1 second? Just tell me, am I implicated?
Yes.
Uh-oh. Tim, I don't know what the fuck you did, but this don't sound good for you, buddy. Don't sound good for you at all.
Sure, Tim. Yes.
Whatever they say he did that shit.
100% he did that shit.
Also him saying I only made 10 million from it, it wasn't worth it.
That's big money
That
right
might be
there.
hard. That kind of went hard. That went hard.
What does that mean? Like, for yes? That's a definite yes?
That's why I bought this burner to call you. You need to get a good lawyer like yesterday.
You gotta be fucking kidding. You know, this was a favor to you. Remember that? I didn't want to do it. It's all you. Now I'm wrapped up in some fucking money laundering, bribery situation. And I only made $10 million out of your stupid fucking scheme? Fuck!
What am I gonna do?
I swear to God, Kenny, if you fuck me on this, I will kill you. I will fucking kill you. You hear me?
If it makes you feel any better, I'm gonna fucking kill myself.
Good. You do it, you piece of shit.
Now I want to know what the fuck he did. I have to know what the fuck he did at this point. Because that don't sound like no run-of-the-mill scheme. This sounds like some real fucked up shit that he was into. Something that's going to make his family think twice about him. Because I think that's very important to him about how his family or how people view him.
Well, I mean, for sure, because reputation is everything there. But he also called it money laundering. Like he said that.
Mm-hmm. So we see him call for a lawyer, and that's where we leave the Ratcliffes. Rick and Chelsea, which was very interesting this episode. Rick wakes up with Chelsea all over him. And I was like, look at Walton Goggins in good shape for a 55-year-old man. That man had abs.
Yeah, my boy's been in the gym.
I was like, Baby Billy don't need that. Why Baby Billy need abs? And so they wake up and they go to breakfast and Mook comes.
I just caught what you said. By the way, I'm so ready for gemstones. Like, I cannot tell you when the promo, that's the promo that came on before White Lotus today, and I was hyper.
That's right. Baby Billy's coming back. Mook comes to greet them and tells Chelsea, you got a body scrub and a wax today. And Rick we gonna get you some stress management. He was like, no, the fuck you not. And Chelsea was like, honey, we already paid for that shit.
Need it.
So you can't cancel it because we had to pay for that shit anyway. And Rick was basically like, all right, fuck. God damn it.
But by the way, like there's no better response to prove that your ass needs stress management than when somebody tells you have stress management and you crash out and you get irritated. That might mean you need a little bit of stress management.
And she said, also, by the way, I met a girl yesterday. She's mad cool. He's like, good, I'm happy for you. And he was like, yeah, he lived with her boyfriend. They live up on the top of the hill. And they invited us for dinner. He's like, what? Like, what? I'm not trying to do that shit. And she was like, why? You looks like y'all have loads in common. He was like what? You're both old? And I was like, I love this woman. She seems so pleasant. Like, I just want to hang around her.
But she keeps doing the shit she keeps doing the thing that makes me so mad, which I say is just like making excuses for him. So like while I'm on her team, she pisses me off constantly with that. And she does it. Sorry, all my little like reminders are going. My phone's telling me to go to sleep because it thinks I'm home. When she does that, I'm like, that's the only thing I can hold against her is that she keeps making allowances. So she's not as bad as Victoria, but she is annoying.
And Chelsea, next time we see them, Chelsea is at the masseuse, and she talking to the masseuse like she a therapist, like she on the couch. Then we see Rick, which was interesting, and he's with the doctor who we saw in the first scene of the show, speaking with Zion, and she's basically trying to get to the bottom of his stress. She's like, "What's your stress level?"
I'm Rita, who, by the way, that should be the K-pop star. She is so pretty.
Oh, I'm Rita, yeah.
And gorgeous, yeah.
Well, she's Indian. Remember the wise Indian lady? And then he was like, "What's your stress level?" And Rick was like, 8 out of 10. She's like, "You are 8 all the time?" He's like, "Yeah, pretty much. Weed helps, but I don't travel with it. You know a good weed spot around here?" And she was like,
he does literally say all that. He goes literally like, actually, what would help is some weed. And if you could point me in the direction, thank you.
She's like, "Can you remember a time when you weren't at an 8?" He's thinking about it. He was like, she's like, "When you was a kid?" He was like, "Well, my mama was a drug addict. And I never knew my daddy. He died before I was born, murdered." And I was like, oh. And I think that got something to do with what he's there for. I think he's there for something to do with his daddy.
You think so? I still think he's a crook. Well, I think it's confirmed he's a crook. Okay, I have a lot of thoughts, by the way, but I think he's a crook, and I think that he was there to scam the guy, but I think he was there to like pitch him something and scam him at the end of the day. But that's just my little assumption.
That guy is a white guy. I think that white guy knew his daddy and has something to do with his daddy's death, and he's trying to get revenge.
Interesting. Oh, interesting. You got a whole theory. Okay.
That's what I think. And so she tells him meditation can bring relief. And I was like, baby Billy, you don't meditate. All right. He don't meditate. So the next time we see them, they're having lunch, and Chelsea was like, how'd it go? That lady seems so wise. And Rick was like, why? Because she's Indian? He was like, yes, Rick, because all Indians are wise.
Yeah, she's like, okay, fuck. Yeah.
I think that Rick actually likes Chelsea a lot. And I think she makes him smile because she's so ridiculous. Yes.
But I think she's ridiculous. I think she also meets him where he's at, which can be nice in terms of like, when keep going. Actually, I'll tell you what I think. Cause what he says next is, what I want to talk about.
She says, you're still shut down. And Rick says, but you're a fucking idiot.
Right. Which is like, but he says it like me. Well, first of all, I don't know if there's any way to say that nice. And she, instead of responding to him, lets her friend, the girl comes over, the girl who's with the ball guy, and she goes, okay, basically like, I'm gonna let you sit in that mean shit you just said and let you rock. And so I think that is what is interesting about her, is that she doesn't let him kind of like break her stride, which is important when you're doing something like that. But it's also like she when Chloe comes over, he's like looking around, like not he just won't even make eye contact with people. He won't even say hello or like head nod or whatever. And she goes, "Oh, he just has a migraine." So she just continues to make excuses for him, and that's my biggest issue with her. But at the end of the day, she has all those other redeeming qualities.
So then Chloe comes over and they say, she's like, I'm gonna go hang with Chloe, all right? And so he's like, all right, go ahead, peace. So next time we see them, Chloe and Chelsea are chilling at the beach at the pool, and Chloe's like, Rick's cute for an older guy, and Chelsea's like, yeah, thanks. And then Saxton walks by and speaks to them, and Chelsea's like, oh, he's such a douche. His whole family's full of wankers, which is my favorite insult of all time.
It's a good one.
And then
Wankers
Chloe
is a good one,
said,
can't lie.
huh, he's cute. So they gonna hook up, Chloe and Saxton. They hooking up.
So Chloe, by the way, is just here for a good time, but I don't know if she would mess up her deal she has for Saxton. Like, I think unless she does it all the time and like kind of knows how to sneak around, I'm skeptical that she's gonna mess up her nice little deal with this man where she lives in Thailand for free. You know what I'm saying?
So then Chelsea goes to the store with Chloe. She's like, let's go check out the store. They got some really nice shit. And then we see Valentine leaving, who's the Cougars helper. And he starts to talk to Gay Talk, and the door stays open and his SUV comes flying by. That wasn't an accident.
And so at all. Well, so Gay Talk's like, and then okay. What part are you saying wasn't an accident?
He went there at that time on purpose to talk to Gay Talk because he knew the car was coming. He's working with the robbers.
Because when it happens, he keeps distracting him. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So, I guess I caught that, but I didn't catch that because I thought this was Rick.
Oh, I don't think that was Rick.
I thought it was. That's why.
You thought that was Rick. Okay. Meanwhile, guy gets out with a hoodie on and a backpack and a mask, and he pulls a gun and he tells him, give all his shit. He starts robbing the store, and Chelsea's scared, and then Chloe comes out like, what the fuck just happened? But meanwhile, they show Mook over there just typing away as it goes on. I think Mook, Valentine, and some other people that work at the hotel are all involved in this.
So wait, you think Mook is involved in it based on her
just standing there not paying attention, like acting like nothing's happening? She's standing right across from the shit happening.
I mean, I guess I thought like the guy came in, but like he didn't have his gun out. So I feel like there's a way that you could do that and just be thinking like, oh, he's just, I don't know, has a mask on. I guess I get what you're saying. I'm just wondering if it was like innocent, but you're right. Cause like somebody somewhere has this. This is definitely something somebody planned because they come in, he's masked up and he has a hoodie on all the way. So I think it's a white guy. He doesn't pull the gun out until he gets in there. He breaks the glass in the jewelry shop and takes all the jewelry out. He kind of waves the gun around, but like he doesn't really threaten too much. And then he doesn't really, I don't think, use his voice that much either. And then he just walks back out.
I think it's somebody who works there. That's my theory.
It definitely is an inside job. I mean, if everyone's in on it, that would be interesting because I think that would be interesting.
So then we see Rick come in, and when everybody's talking to the police, and he hugs Chelsea, and she was worried. And so
that's when I thought, I was like, "Oh, this is mischievous," because I thought it was Rick, but I hear what you're saying.
Then they're having dinner, and Chelsea was like, "I almost died," and I was like, "I mean, you almost died like more than I almost died today, but you didn't actually almost die."
Yeah, I mean, but I do get it though, because like on any given day when a gun is flashed your way, you could have died. So she's not wrong, and then also like on vacation too.
But then she was like, "But they did comp our room. How about that, Rick?" And he was like, "Did a great job, honey."
I mean, to be honest with you though, I'm sure that's a relief for Rick because that nigga's already like he's probably. I just imagine him being in debt up to his eyeballs. You know what I'm saying? And
she looks at him and she's like, "Talk to him, say some shit, like be nice." And then Rick was like, "So, Greg, what do you do?" And then he was like, "I'm retired." And Rick was like, all right,
What
what'd
he
you
used to
do
do.
before then? He was like, a little this, a little that. He's like, oh, all
This
right.
and that is. He said, Rick said, "Oh, gotcha. I see what's going on." He goes, "Me too. You're retired. I'm currently working in this and that." I think he immediately picks up on what's going on. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
Chelsea is just like, just,
Yes. And
just
he's like,
happy as can be. She's not picking up on none of this shit.
his name was like, this or that is a good career path. And so then he was like, where'd y'all meet? And Greg said, Dubai with a matchmaking service. I was like, these niggas seem like scammers to me. And Greg said, I'm American, she's French. And Chloe's like, what? I'm not fucking French. And she was like, what are you talking? And Greg's like, what are you talking about? You speak French all the time. You're fucking French. And she was like, no, I'm fucking from Quebec. I'm Canadian. He's like, French Canadian, France, the fuck's the difference? And she's like, a goddamn ocean?
Okay.
Like
to
a
be
whole
fair,
ocean?
yeah, like to be fair, big difference. Huge difference. But okay. But, like,
And
big difference.
Chelsea is sitting there like, oh shit, look at that. Look at them. And I was like, she is so me. I love her.
Yeah, she just like, ooh, look, somebody else is arguing for once.
So then after dinner, Chelsea comes to bed, and in the meantime, Rick overheard the owner saying she's going back to Bangkok tomorrow to be with her husband. So when they get to bed, Rick was like, she comes to bed, she was like, I almost died today. You need to hold me and protect me. He was like, I am protecting you. So she gets on him and starts hugging him. And she was like,
Wait,
I like her.
there was a moment. Sorry, the first time we saw them this episode, by the way, they were in the bed cuddling and he tried to get up and she held on to him, still sleeping. So like there is this dynamic where like he does care about her, but he also is like annoyed by her weirdly. And then like she's clearly just asking him for she's asking for the basic care that she gives him, and he's struggling with that. So like we've all seen that relationship dynamic play out, of course, but it's just interesting seeing like the holding dynamic. And I think when he says I am holding you, like they're holding hands. So like he's definitely still not meeting her needs. And I feel like that's like we see that literally and figuratively.
And he's like, I like our new friends. She's like, I like our new friends. And Rick was like, she's so pretty. And Rick's like, she's a fucking hooker. And Chelsea's like, what?
She's like, no, she's a runner. She's walked in Milan. He's like, hooker.
She's like, she's a hooker. And Rick says, but I'm glad you made a friend.
Because he asked, how did you meet? And they said a matchmaking service in Dubai, which is very clear. Nothing can be this and that and a matchmaking service in Dubai. Nothing can be more clear for me about what the situation is.
And Rick says, I'm glad you made a friend. But he says, I'm going to Bangkok for a night or two to deal with something. She's like, we just got here. He was like, don't worry about it, but I'll be back. And Chelsea was like, you're so mysterious. All right, let's fuck. And then they start fucking.
Yeah, and so Walton Goggins got a sex scene, guys.
Yeah, he did.
Because when he plays it, you're never going to see the ghoul fuck. You know what I'm saying? You're never going to see that. Your Uncle Baby Billy, we might see him give Tiffany another kid. But I'm just happy for this actor. He got that. By the way, I know this is quite a transition. We didn't do any bullshit in the beginning. I have a quick question for you.
Okay.
Did you, on the plane, to get where I'm at, I am in Asia. I'm not in Thailand. But to get to Singapore, I took 3 flights. I took a 2-hour flight, a 12-hour flight, and a 6-hour flight. Disgusting. But I watched a lot of movies. I caught up on a bunch of movies. So I finally watched Venom: The Last Dance. And you know how I feel about Venom, right?
Yes, I know.
Venom deserves much better than y'all give him. Venom is a fun movie. It's the same. It's giving you the same level of acting as Fast and Furious, and that got 12 movies. So I just feel like, what are we doing? So anyway, the funniest part about that, and if you've watched the show before, you know my theory is that Venom is supposed to be black, and I think they whiteified him, but Venom is a black man. And I have 2 things to say about Venom. One is that I think they should reboot the franchise because they're acting like Venom's dead. They should reboot the franchise and make him black. like the Eddie should be black and Venom should be voiced by a black man. And you know who would be the perfect person to voice him?
Who?
Ryan Coogler.
Oh
Ryan
my God.
Coogler should do the voice of Venom, and he should. I think it'd be such a good remake. I really want to write that remake. Secondly, you know what I was thinking about with Venom? Is I was like, Venom is fine. I want to
Let's
see a
move
Venom
on to the
sex scene.
Cougars,
And some no,
please.
I have a question for you. You didn't see The Last Dance?
Yes, I saw that terrible movie.
Would you go on a date with the green one, the green one, or the
No.
thunder one? Which
So
one
they
would you
can
rather?
bite my head off? Absolutely not.
Which one would you rather go on a date? Which one would you rather fuck? That's what I really want to know. The green one with the tentacles, or the thunder one with the pink hair? Which one would you rather take
Yes,
out?
pink hair.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Thank you.
That was very engaging. Very engaging. So now we get the Cougars, who are my favorite people on this
Yes.
show because they're so
Yeah.
awkward and it's
Yeah,
so cringy. Every scene with them is so cringy.
But it's also so authentically written because the way that they do the gossip, the way that they talk about each other is so. If you don't relate to that, like I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm just saying if you're lying if you can't relate to having been in that situation in some way where like you're on a trip with someone for too long and so you start to try to vent about that person while they're in the other room. Like if you've never done that, then I don't know what to tell you. You didn't grow up yet.
So Chanel's gonna have to watch this along, so she's gonna be a slightly delayed. But we have the first scene with this is after last episode where Lori went to bed and Jacqueline and Kate are up talking.
I'm just so happy we're all in the same place. I mean, talking on the phone is just not the same.
You can't really make new memories when you just have dinner twice a year.
I know. I don't even think I've seen Lori in like 4 years. She seems great.
Yeah. She looks great. She's always had so much energy.
I mean, she's always just been such a hard charger. I love her.
She's such a great girl. Great friend. Sounded like that divorce got pretty gnarly. That's...
This is so uncomfortable to me. I'm just waiting for them to say something fucked up. And the whole time watching this, I'm like, oh my God, they're about to say something fucked up. They're about to say something fucked up. And here it comes. And Kate is like the instigator of it. She's like, she never starts it, but she keeps hyping the other person up, which we see later, to get them to keep going.
That'd be hard.
She palimony, right?
So ridiculous.
Loser.
Why?
Can you imagine? I mean, I'd be furious after he freeloaded off of her for years.
And I guess the whole thing's been, really hard on Ellie, which is so sad. Because she was such an adorable little girl.
Oh my God, she was so cute. I wanted to steal her.
But I guess she's turned into a real... Yeah.
What?
Apparently, she's been kicked out of 2 schools.
No.
She's like a hitter. She's a bruiser.
Jesus. She's a bruiser. Okay. So he got a freeloading ex-husband. She worked too hard, and her daughter beats the shit up out of kids. Okay.
By the way, so I caught this both times. She says it's palimony, not alimony. And I thought palimony meant like paying it to the man. Do you know what palimony is?
No.
It's when you have to pay alimony even though you weren't officially married. It's like common law alimony.
What? Really?
I wish I would pay palimony to a man.
That's right. That's equality right there. We're tearing down the patriarchy.
That's not the way. There's other steps you skip to get there. But yeah, anyway, they're talking cash money shit. Like it's the way that they go, yes, you like I like that she caught her because she's like, you just said she was so good. Like, what are you actually saying? And so they're kind of like working their way into talking shit about her. Like, and you see it, like you said, you knew it was something bad coming, like, but I just know it's coming based on like how they slowly but surely started with all the compliments. Like there's no there's no way that that's not where we're going with it. So they yeah, like I'm not trying to make excuses for them. I'm just saying some part of this is normal. And I think like it's tough. I guess my question here in general is like, it's tough because it's okay to have thoughts about friends. It's okay to have thoughts about people you know. And all those thoughts aren't going to be positive. So the question is like, do you hold them in or do you let them out in the best way possible? And what would be the best way possible?
Not this way.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll have to figure that out by the end of the season. Like, how do you actually deal with it when you're like, I actually don't like this about my friend?
Oh, no.
She throws furniture.
What?
You have to wonder about these people who insist on raising their kids in New York. I mean, what are they thinking? Honestly, the kids can't play. There's no childhood. They're all like sucking each other off at like 8 years old.
That's what they do in New York. They suck each other off at 8 years old. New Yorkers.
I am sure they're doing that in Texas too, Kate.
But you know, Lori's work is there. She's always defined herself by her work, so I guess it's good she has that.
She's basically like, at least the bitch got a nice job. All right, at least she got that. Ain't nothing else good in her life. She can go to work though. She can tear up a board meeting. And then here comes Jacqueline.
What?
Don't you remember how she was talking about how she was going to get that big promotion?
Was she?
Yeah, they were going to make her partner.
What are you saying?
I'm saying I don't think it happened.
No?
I think she's kind of stalled out there.
Oh, no.
I know.
Lori.
Oh. I mean, you devote your whole life to one firm? World's brutal.
No wonder she looks defeated.
You just said she looked good. Now she looked defeated.
I thought you said she looked great.
Well, she does. But she also looks tired. Don't you think? A little down?
Might be the drinking.
She did drink like a whole bottle tonight.
More than that.
I just love her so much.
I do too. I just worry about her.
Lori! Jesus, Mary, and Joseph! Sorry. Oh my.
She banged hard as shit on that fucking door. Scared the shit out of them. Oh my God, that was so much pettiness in that scene. I don't understand
That's
that.
what they get. That's what they get.
So Lori bangs on the door. She's drunk. She says she forgot some shit. And that's why she came back to bang on the door. And I was like, yo, these women are hilarious. They are absolutely hilarious to me. And she was like, I thought it was a monkey. And everybody keeps bringing up monkeys. They keep showing the monkeys. The monkey's finna do something this season to somebody or something. Something gonna happen with the monkey.
I already told you the monkeys are gonna kill Victoria. I told you this.
Oh yeah, you did say
I already
that.
put it out there. That's my pool. Yeah, let's start the pool on that. But
Okay.
yeah, so first of all, the palimony's still killing me. Second of all, the way that they walk themselves into talking about her, the judgment about the career, because like Allison, who's the main one? Who's the famous one?
Jacqueline.
Jacqueline. Jacqueline has a job that like she has a famous job, so it doesn't count the same as like whatever law job or whatever they're talking that she has. It apparently isn't as fulfilling. And then talking about the kids is kind of crazy because kids go through stuff no matter what, let alone like a child of divorce. But like calling her a bruiser is is beyond. And then also like I do think there is that judgment from, we already went into the judgment of like this higher class, richer North Carolina mom who has the kids who've already gone to college and has the like retirement planned out and has been with her husband for forever. And then you have a below that tier, you have like the Hollywood mom, or not even mom, you have the Hollywood wife that Jacqueline is. And then you have like this Texas suburb wife who thinks that she's better than other moms because like she has a bigger house and she lives in a place where like she can be, there's like a lot
Mm-hmm.
more, it's a lot more like you're seeing a lot more in community. It's less like it's still socializing and being a socialite, but it's different because it's like going to football games instead of like going to like a premiere or something, right? So there's a regional judgment on being like a Southern mom versus a Northeast mom, and this idea that they're better moms somehow in their culture. And I think I love that they kind of tackled that. And then, like she said, kids in Texas are getting drunk driving pickup trucks and hooking up in the back of them at 8 years old. It's kids in New York are sucking each other. Like let's be honest about like how the Texas kids are bored as shit as well and getting into all kind of trouble. But anyway, they're just bringing up all these really interesting dynamics. And like I said, this is just more about this culture and how like getting a real look behind it.
So then Valentine comes over and tells them they're gonna do their biomarker test a little bit later, and he leaves, and they all like, "Oh, he fine." And then Jacqueline goes, "Someone has to try that one out." And Lori, you're the only one that's single. And she starts blushing and shit, and she's looking up under her eyebrows and shit. I was like, okay, maybe she gonna make a move. And so then we see them doing the metrics with Lori, and Valentine was like, "Hey, dog, your numbers look good as fuck. You like half your age." And she's like, "Oh, for real? Oh man, like for real?" And so then they all get back together and they ask Lori how was it with Valentine, and she was like, "Oh, my numbers were good." He said I was half my age, and Jacqueline was like, "Yeah, my hydration was like top 1% in the world." And then Lori was like, "Yeah," and she said my fat was like below this, and I thought it was really good. And he said, and she was like, "Yeah." Valentine said my numbers were at.
Oh.
She's like,
No,
Jacqueline,
she goes, "Are you sure?" Hold on.
yeah, she says, "Yeah."
Her body fat percentage was that low. It's so passive
Were you sure?
rude.
And Lori was like, "What you mean? Am I sure?"
Yeah, like that's crazy.
And she was like, "I just want to know." And then she said to her, "Do you?" Jacqueline was like, "Well, he said that."
Well,
Jacqueline was like, "You said that." He said that my numbers were half my age.
My age, basically.
Yeah, and Lori was like, "Oh, damn, he must say that to everybody because he said the same thing to me." And then Kate was like, "Well, he didn't say that shit to me. He said I was fucking normal."
Which.
And then she got salty. She was like, "I tried it."
That's the one that took me out.
She was like, "I've been eating turkey and chicken and beans. Like I've been trying to eat good." And I was like, "Damn, Kate, relax."
Yeah, I mean, I think like first of all, they're building up this narrative with Kate where like she feels like the forgettable one, which is very interesting. And again, I think that's why like the Texas thing is so important because you end up being very important in your circle, but that doesn't mean that like it translates into a great personality or like a really like, you're known globally. It's just like you might be a big deal in Austin, but that doesn't mean you're a big deal outside of Austin. Or and same thing for like North Carolina, but Victoria is just older and carries herself differently. So I think that's the interesting dynamic we're getting out of that. And then two is this like competitiveness where Jacqueline clearly thinks she's number one because she is like the more she's the one who's had the most work done. She's the one who's in the public eye. She's the one who like as they emerged became like the prettiest one. So there's like a bit of a competition going on. But then the other underlying thing we're hearing again, like in like white women culture, is this idea of like there's a very pervasive like self-talk happening at all times about your body image that they like that community is really working through, like unlearning some of that unhealthy stuff about bodies. And so the fact that like talking about body fat makes her immediately start to like validate her diet is like such a eating disorder adjacent activity that a lot of women can relate to, like feeling like you need to explain why you can't fit into something or why you didn't do very well on this like body metric assessment. So again, like it's they're writing us into like this world that feels very, very, very authentic, and like this could be any group of friends on any vacation resort at any given time.
And then Jacqueline says, but yeah, I'm now married to a guy's like 10 years younger than me. His body's fucking crazy. And then Lori was like, she's like, and we're so addicted to each other. And Lori was like, well, bitch, it's only been a year. And she's like, oh, I don't think we'll ever not be tired of each other. And I was like, these women hate each other. This is what I think. They hate each other.
They do, but like, I don't think I'll ever be tired is a stupid thing to say. Like, everybody gets tired. Like, I think that's just such a foolish thing that, like, not anticipate that your relationship might go through that as well. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And then the next time we see them,
I didn't mean it.
No, you're good. Next time we see them, the general manager comes over at dinner, and he's telling them that the owner is going to perform. And he says, maybe I write songs, maybe I'll perform one day. And it was like, yeah, you should do it, to start encouraging him. Then he gets mad weird, and he was like, well, I am the boss. Maybe I will. And I was like, oh, okay, buddy. Maybe you will. And so then we see the owner perform. She did a really good job. And then they come up to her, and they was like, you was great. And she's like, thank you. I'm going to Bangkok tomorrow. My husband's there. We go back and forth. And that's why we saw Rick listening in the background, which we talked about earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And so then they get back home.
And again, in the after episode, is Shritala and the general manager. And Shritala is like, she's obsessed with Jacqueline because Jacqueline's famous and she wants to like feel that fame again. And so I'm curious about how like her just like oversharing or like being too forward, how that will put her like in danger, kind of, because what's his name is plotting on her. And it's like we wouldn't know her movements or what's going on with her husband if she wasn't trying to be very flashy. It's like very interesting.
Oh, that's a good point. So then they get back to the room. They're all kind of drunk, and Jacqueline's like, yeah, I'm about to go read this book and chill out. And so she leaves, and then they immediately start talking shit again, which I have this scene.
She's so funny.
Right? What a character. A real Thai diva.
No.
I meant Jacqueline.
I love how they play that instrumental in the background every time somebody starts doing some fuck shit. They play the instrumental right in the background.
So competitive. No. She's always been like that.
Yeah, but you think with all her success she'd have mellowed out, though. Narcissist. A little bit.
And the vanity. I know she has to maintain it's her career. Did she sandblast her face or something? It's very waxy.
Did she sandblast her face? Oh my God. They hate each other. That is not something you say when, I just think about these things with my friends. No, you hate this person. Did she sandblast her face? Is waxy? What?
I mean, it is rude, but I think like maybe that's some of the challenge that comes with a particularly famous rich friend. Because like, again, she might be doing fine. But then you see your friend from Hollywood who has like all this work done that you don't feel so like you don't feel good about your gym body or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's maybe some of what's coming up too.
Right.
It's more than just the basics.
She's still gorgeous.
No, definitely.
Gosh, she had the face everyone wanted.
I know.
And then the whole thing with the husband.
Yes.
There's something weird there, right?
She goes on and on. They're so in love. They're addicted to each other. But I mean, are they ever even in the same city?
I don't think they ever see each other.
See? That's what I'm saying.
You know, I think she's lonely.
Really?
Yeah. I think it's just a front. And you know what they say about fronts?
What?
The bigger the front,
I've never in my entire life heard that saying before. You know what they say about fronts? The bigger the front, the bigger the back. What does that mean?
She was making that shit. No, she was making that shit up, and they were just like so in the mood of going back and forth with each other that they were like, "All right, I'm gonna let that slide." That's literally all that is.
Right.
'Cause I'm not paying no attention to her, but I think it was just like she was just like, "I'm gonna let her cook because we're finally talking shit, and that's what I want to do."
And Jacqueline kind of hears them talking. I don't know if she heard exactly what they were saying, but she know they was talking about her because she just did the same shit earlier.
Yeah, and I think that's what's shitty about it is it's one thing if you're just venting, which I think is obviously we disagree is not the best, but it's another thing if like the other person hears but then Jacqueline can't be that mad 'cause she was just talking shit. So it's gonna come down to like I think Jacqueline will be mad at Kate, but she would never be mad at Kate enough to go on what's the third woman's name?
Lori.
Lori. She'll never be mad at Kate enough to go on Lori's side because she's not really friends with Lori. Like she said, she hasn't seen her in 4 years. But like her and Kate and Jacqueline make time to do dinner twice a year. So they leave her out all the time. So like even if she feels alienated with Kate, she's never gonna go to Lori. So we'll see that like dynamic play out. Yeah, like I said, like you said, they have a very interesting dynamic, and some fans feel like they're carrying the show, like lovingly saying that. And I can definitely understand that perspective because this whole dynamic goes so hard and it's so interesting. And I do actually enjoy watching it. Like I might hate watching them as friends and then also relating in some ways. But I will say that like there is the thing of like I don't think they want her marriage to fail. Maybe they do, but I think that like even in relationships, it can be in friendships. It can be like, all right, your relationships, you might be divorced, like common law divorce, and might like have issues in your marriage, but I don't. And it's this idea of like I'm doing something different than my friends, and so I'm better than it. And so I think their reaction to her and her relationship and how we're talking about how she's obsessed with her husband or kind of hiding that is very like makes sense to me if somebody's kind of acting like no my marriage worked out even though yours didn't. Not that her marriage won't work out, but it's just like this interesting, not even competitive thing, but just this interesting like negating thing that friends might do where they're like, well, I'm different than you. And then sometimes if you're real friends, if you have that moment, you might come back around to like actually, okay, sorry, I was wrong, like this happens to everyone, or like I should have listened, or at least I should have taken your advice. Like hopefully they have like an actual come back to each other moment. But this could be the trip that like ruins their friendship. It just kind of depends on how it goes.
Or it could be the ones that makes them closer. Remember the one with Aubrey Plaza and her boyfriend or her husband, and they started off, and by the time they were at the end, they were better. So yeah, you might be right. And that was the end of the episode. So those of you who made it through to the end, thank you for sticking with us through the audio difficulties. It wasn't as bad. It wasn't that bad, but it wasn't our normal quality. But we'll be back.
It would have definitely been worse had I not been on the phone. I'll tell you that, because we was uploading 300 kbps. So I'm glad we did this. Thank you, Brandon, for doing the Discord on the fly. Thank you guys for listening. Next week next time we'll test. Maybe we'll test it out beforehand to see if we need a guest. But I'll be in a different hotel next time, so should have better Wi-Fi. I should definitely, when I get to Korea, have the best Wi-Fi in the world.
Yes. So we will try that then, but we should be much better. And we'll be back next week, hopefully, Chanel and I, to talk about episode 3 of White Lotus. And you can also catch us this weekend. She's not having too much fun talking about Severance episode 8. We're almost done with Severance. 3 episodes left of Severance. So we're coming down the whole stretch.
I'm so excited.
So,
yeah, I'm excited. What do I do at the end of White Lotus?
I don't think you did anything last time.
Oh, we did the Keenan and Kel thing.
Oh, yeah, I'm not doing that again.
Okay, Brandon. What do you mean? That's the ending.
Okay, that's
Brandon,
the ending.
I want you to go grab 2 fire dancers, get Shri to lie and tell her to warm up her vocal cords, and meet me at the monkey sanctuary.
Where am I finding monkey? A sanctuary? And I'm getting who?
I said, meet me at the monkey sanctuary.
No, you missed it. That's what Kel used to do After Keenan said
that's-
that.
I thought my audio was bad.
See? Can't even get it right.
Just meet me at the Mook Sanctuary, okay?
Oh, here goes.
Here it goes. I thought that was my audio messing up, so I was like, oh, I'm gonna do it again for
I can't even do the joke with her.
Oh well, we did our best.